How do I talk to a friend about her constantly being on her phone? We are both youth leaders in our community, and we recently had an event where she was on her phone the entire time, except for when she shared her thought about a video we watched. I wanted to try to ignore it, but I realized it actually makes me very upset. And how can I then help the youth around us focus and connect when the example is set of her always being on her phone? Alexia, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. We had a storm yesterday, so my children are home. So I had to try to
Okay.
find a little spot.
Lovely. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. So it sounds like you want to just sort of raise her awareness around this and ask her to do something differently. So how might you want to say that?
Uh, I feel like I don't want to say it. I wish somebody else could say it, to be honest. I wish somebody else could. I feel like I'm not the one, so maybe my conversation should be, is there anyone that I could ask to say it? Because I just feel like
Got it.
I'm not the
You're not
one.
trusting yourself right now. You're not trusting yourself to say it. What do you tell me what the reluctance is? Is it how she might react? Is it that you don't trust what you want to put in the space? What's the reluctance about?
It is I feel like I don't, and that's why I'm here. I feel like I don't have the words to
Yeah.
say it in a way that shows that's not attacking her, or
Yeah.
I wish I didn't feel like I needed her to change. I wish there was a way for me to just whatever, do what you want to do, but it's really hard, especially if I'm sharing something or someone is, I just believe in being there with the person and making eye contact or looking or showing that interest. And I'm trying to just figure out in my mind that maybe
Mhm.
people listen differently and maybe she needs to look at her phone to listen, but that
Mhm.
affects me and it's and that example for other people too, just being on the phone, playing a game or scrolling through or watching a video. I'm like, what? No, it's not the time for that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know how to.
Yeah. Great. All right. You be her and I'll be you. And let's see if we can find some language.
Okay.
Okay. You're going to be her. And I'm going to come to you and I don't know her, so I don't know her temperament. So you can just show me what you think might happen. But it sounds like you might want to be saying something like, hey, there's something that I've been noticing I'm getting increasingly uncomfortable with. And I want to just put some things on the table and find out what's happening for you and see if we can find a way forward here that works for us both. Are you available for a quick chat about this?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. You know, I have this judgment about you being on your phone when we're in youth meetings. And I also have a judgment of my judgment. And I've been trying to like work with myself so that I don't have this judgment because I want you to be able to show up in these meetings in ways that feel comfortable to you. And I notice that often you're on the phone. And there's been this growing inner conflict in me around like, oh, I want a meeting where we're both like fully present and we're modeling for the youth what we're wanting from them, and neither of us are on our phones. And then there's this other part of me that is like, oh, you can't tell other people what to do, and I'm sure she's listening, and maybe there's a different way that she's managing information. And then I realized I just need to say it and put it out there and find out what's happening for you and what it's like to hear me tell you that this has been going on for me.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts. It's just that for me, I have a lot going on and it's easier for me to listen. If I'm looking at you,
Mhm.
I'm distracted by other things. But if I'm looking down,
Mhm.
I'm able to listen, like I'm really listening.
Mhm.
But I don't know, I just feel like the phone helps me to, this not be distracted by anything else. I
Mhm.
guess maybe but the phone, and
Mhm.
then I can listen.
Got it. So help me understand that because I think this might be a place where I don't get it and I just need a little more understanding. It sounds like what you're saying is when you're looking down at the phone, having a place for your eyes to be helps you put your attention more on taking in auditory information. Am I getting
Right.
that right or what am I missing?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So it's actually a way for you to be even more present in the room. It's not like you're working on other things or dealing with other stuff or trying to multitask. It's actually your way of trying to be really present. Is that right?
And that's where I can answer that question because I don't know.
So let's say it
I
is.
don't know.
Let's say it is.
Okay.
Let's take it at face value for a moment. And let's say, yeah, actually, it is a way that I learned. I have some neurodivergence going on, and this is a strategy that I use, and it's one of the ways that I stay present. Then I'm going to say, if that's the case, I might say, thanks for explaining that to me. I think it would be helpful for us to give that context to the group because what I'm afraid might be happening is people are seeing it as just being not fully present. And I think in the same way that it helps with my understanding and getting behind it, I think that might be something we want to model and have be there for everybody else in the room. Because I'm worried about a message of, I'm kind of here doing time and I'm busy with other things and I'm not fully present. Do you get what I'm caring about there?
Mhm.
So that would be a way of taking it at face value. Now, if the person were to say, yeah, listen, I have a lot going on and I sometimes feel like I just need to check off some stuff and I do need to, be in and out and in and out.
Right.
Let's say that that's what this person says. Then I might say, okay, so one of the things you're holding is a lot of competing priorities at the same time. And I
Mhm.
think what I'm holding here is like what the impact is that it's having on the group while also wanting to care about what it is that you're needing. And I just want to think a little bit together because here's what I'm worrying about. I worry a little bit that it comes across to the kids that there's a double standard or that they're not being fully attended to. Do you worry about that too? Or oh, that's not a concern for you? Like I would just keep bringing her in like that
Ah, okay.
and then find out where it goes, you know? Because maybe that's another disclaimer that happens at the beginning, which is I'm going to be, one of us is going to be here. And, so and so over here has a lot going on and may step out every now and then because there's things she needs to attend to. And then you make it
Mhm.
part of the agreed upon structure that everybody can understand. Because
Right.
I think what you're not wanting is for everybody to just get the unspoken message that they don't matter and that there isn't a lot of presence in the room. Is that true?
Exactly, exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it
Because
feel? Yeah.
I know I feel that way if it's just us together and there is that phone thing happening, I feel that way too. And I've just had to just not
Mhm.
take it personal and just kind of try to, work on it for myself.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it does feel that way. Like,
But I think this is a really lovely example of you going to bat for the needs of the group and a good
okay.
example of the protective use of force and not enabling something that isn't working for the needs of everyone in the room because we're afraid of one person being upset or defensive about it. It sounds like a conversation about an invitation to care that the person being asked to look at what they're doing isn't outside of the circle of care. We're caring a lot about what they're trying to do and why they're doing what they're doing. And we're inviting them to also think about how it's affecting me as co-facilitator and the people that we're facilitating. And it's an awareness raising conversation that is designed to elicit more care for more people. And then to include that person in coming up with a way of being that meets everyone, not just one person.
Right, right. Okay.
So I have two questions. I have one, which is like, how does some of that language sound? Does any of that shift it? Does it give you a pathway in? And two, what's the resistance that's remaining for you, or the fear that you're having, or the reluctance that you're having in this moment?
All right, sorry, what was the first question? Because I know the second one.
Uh-huh. The
Oh,
first one was, did any of that language feel helpful or not?
oh,
Did it give you a way in or not?
yes, definitely feels like, especially when you say like going in for the group, like batting for, not just me, but
Mhm.
how it might be affecting the group in general.
Mhm.
Um, you just have a way with words. I need to I'm trying to learn this. But my reluctance is still with, I know I just have to be brave because I think this person in particular is can be sensitive to I know she'll be mad at me. She might be mad at me.
Okay.
But I know I just have to be brave and just do it and really come from a lot of love and care for understanding her and not just getting mad at her in my mind. I want her to know how I'm feeling and try to understand what's going on. And I hope that she can feel that and get that. And I know she might still be mad still,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I really want to understand. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm really thinking about, because even while we're there, I had to be touching some of them. Like a young man was beside me, texting on his phone, and I was like touching him, and a girl across, I was like touching her foot, like, come on, pay attention,
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, so
that's my
you can share
response.
it this way. You can say, there's this dilemma that I go into when I'm trying to tell other people in the room to put their phones away, but you have your phone out. I feel an internal conflict and I'm not sure how to resolve it. What do you think we could do about that?
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And I love what you said about even saying to the group beforehand that this is the reason that you might see her on her phone, and just
Yep.
kind of
Yep.
setting the tone
Yep.
there. So we're not just, I really love that too.
Yep. And so, if she's not willing to do anything differently, then
Yes.
your next best thing is to make the double standard explicit.
Okay. Right.
I know that
Right.
we have a rule about no phones in the room, and I also know that Yvette over here is often on her phone, and that may look like a double standard, and we're aware of it, but Yvette really does need to take these phone calls and attend to these things at this time. And we're not trying to send a double message, even though it's going to feel like a double message. She is going to be attending to things, but we're still going to ask that this part of the group and that these people have a different quality of presence and are abiding by a different set of rules. Then we just make it clear so it's not crazy making for anyone.
Okay. Yeah, I might have to change my words because they're
Yeah.
not phone calls or texts, they're games and videos. So that's what makes it really hard to to say that. But
Yes, yes, yes. You've got all the right content, so you'll adjust it to,
right,
what it is.
right.
Yeah. First
Okay.
try and have the conversation with her.
Okay. Thank
Because
you
here's
so
the
much.
other thing. Sometimes when people are playing games on their phone in a meeting or when they are in a group, one thing I get curious about is, are you feeling some anxiety? Is this a way that you're self-soothing? Is this a way that you're trying to regulate something? Is there something that makes it difficult to be present? Like, I first want to get really curious about what need is this thing meeting? And I want to care for the need that they're trying to meet with the strategy that they're using. And then I don't want to just
Right.
take something away. I want to replace it with something better if I'm asking for a change. And
Mm.
there's more information to find out. Why, is it just an unconscious habit? And somebody's like, oh my goodness, I didn't even think about it. Yeah, totally. It's not even that important to me. Or is it like, I do this all the time. I play tic-tac-toe all the time. It helps me regulate. Like there's a part of me that is anxious. And then I have an opportunity to care for that and hold that in my circle of care as well, instead of seeing it as a bad thing that I have judgments about that they shouldn't be doing. I can understand the function of what they're doing and then express care for that and be like, okay, so tell me more about that. Tell me more about the anxiety or tell me about the distractibility. Is there anything I could do to help with that? Are there any other strategies we could put in place? I think this particular strategy might meet these needs for you, but I also think it's setting a double standard over here. What do you think about that? How could we come up with something that works for everyone like this?
Yeah. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes. And now maybe if you find somebody else who's willing to have the conversation, you can also give them a few onboarding ways if they're not sure how either.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. This
You're
was really good.
welcome. You're
Okay,
welcome. You're
thank you.
welcome. Good luck. Yeah, I want to encourage you to try it and find out what happens. I'm hoping you'll be pleasantly
Okay.
surprised. So